Good morning, We Church. My name is Carla, and it's a real honour to be with you today, sharing some scripture and some thoughts that I've been pondering for, it's been a few months really. I've been thinking about this idea of having an authentic faith in a fake world. And the verse of scripture that I felt really challenged me on this was Romans chapter 12, verse 9. It says, "Let love be without hypocrisy, abhor what is evil, cling to what is good." Our generation, particularly mine, raised in the 80s, the 90s, and beyond, were raised on such a diet of fake things. Even so much of what we consume today is so fake. We have fake things on TV, presented as reality. We have, so much clogging up our social media feeds that is curated and edited. Even so much of the food that I ate as a teenager and a child in the 80s and the 90s was fake, full of fillers and preservatives and, artificial flavors and colors. We even have this thing, these days called frenemies, fake friends that are really enemies. With a lot of these fake things that we're consuming, they are designed to enhance our experiences. They're designed to replace what's real with something that can be mass produced in a controlled environment with predictable results. But when we know that something is fake, it changes the way that we interact with it. As long as we know that it's fake, we don't place the same level of value and importance on that thing. Usually it's offered to us cheaper anyway than the real thing. And more often than not, it leaves us with a sense of dissatisfaction or being ripped off. It can even leave us with a feeling of shame or guilt even. But in Romans 12, we're told that we are to love without hypocrisy. And the word hypocrisy was used in a couple of contexts, but in this particular case, it's talking about like an actor who is playing a part. And the original Greek word for hypocrite was often used that way. And even Jesus used it in Luke chapter 12. When he is warning the crowds around him to beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. So Jesus was not okay with people being fake. He wasn't okay with people putting on a facade to try to appear more holy, particularly because of the way that it affected others around them. It could have been used in a way that would cause harm to other people or make them feel inferior. Instead, Romans chapter 12, verse 9 challenges us to do the following. It says, "Let love be without hypocrisy, abhor what is evil, cling to what is good, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, in honor giving preference to one another, not lagging, in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfastly in prayer, distributing to the needs of the saints, and given to hospitality." I don't know about you, but I think there's something very special and memorable when I'm around authentic people. We're able to let our guard down. We feel safe enough to take the mask off. And when we are people without guile or hypocrisy, we give others permission to be the same. But when it's fake, it can be pretty obvious. A hypocritical love will not allow us to be kindly affectionate. It won't allow us to give preference to one another. It won't allow us to be diligent and fervent in our service to one another because there's no substance. It's fake. There's nothing fake about Jesus. Every word that we have about him is faithful and it's true and it's reliable. And because of that, we can also live our lives like an open book for the glory of God. So if I could leave you with a couple of thoughts to ponder, to think about, and questions to wonder about, it would be this. What prevents us from being authentic in our church culture, in our faith groups, in our relationships with each other? And what are the consequences of not being authentic in our love towards one another? What sort of message is that sending? There's an extraordinary freedom and authority that comes with being authentic, not just for ourselves, but for everybody else that's touched by that. So I pray this topic is one that generates some lively and helpful conversation, but more than anything, I pray that it spurs us all on to live and to love authentically for the glory of God. God bless you. Have a great